this year, right, so there's about $1.8 billion worth of boats here at the Palm Beach International Boat Show. And Miami, right, I think it's Fort Lauderdale. That's the biggest boat show in the world. So this is pretty cool to see.
And is everyone here from Palm Beach?
No, international. There's
wow.
I would say a lot of people here are brokers, looking for their clients, things like that. And then you got the looky-loos like me, right? But I would say maybe like 1 to 5% are actual like people looking to buy.
Okay.
Not like to this magnitude, more like the smaller stuff, I would say. But I'd buy one of these.
Dude, as a realtor, do you think it's important, as a realtor that sells super luxury, high-end properties, is it important to know the boating industry?
I would say so, especially right here in Palm Beach, just because you have, right, waterfront, boating, golfing, things like that. Because a lot of people, right, they want to buy a $15 million house, but they're like, hey, where do I keep my boat? There's only like 10 properties on the market right now that allow you to put a 100-foot boat at for $15 million. So it's one of those things, like knowing the boats, knowing the market, it's helpful to know.
Do people ask you questions about boats when you're showing them property on the water?
All the time. Because you got to think, right, what's the beam, what's the width of the boat, how big is the canal, what's the water depth, are there fixed bridges, things like that. So it's really important to know all those different types of things to make sure, like, if you're buying a $15 million house, you want to make sure you can put your 100-foot boat back there.
Right. And that's kind of like the first question you got to ask, no?
Oh, yeah, of course. It's like, what boat do you have? Because people are buying a house for their boat, typically. I wouldn't say typically, but I would say, like, they want to make sure they can fit their boat back there, of course. Because what's the point in living on the water if you can't fit your boat back there?
Do you think there's anyone that lives on the water that doesn't like boating?
I'm sure. I showed a house the other day in Seminole for $15 million, and the guy's not a boater. But he likes the water feature. He'd probably buy a boat because he's on the water now. So, it's hit or miss. Yeah, so Sunseeker here, it's a nice boat, but it's kind of like an entry level for 90 plus feet. I wouldn't say entry level, but like Sunseeker, you have, Sunray, Ray, something. That's another entry level boat. So yeah, a lot of people here. I love it, rolling J's. That is hilarious. So right, I was talking with my buddy the other day who's a boat dealer for HMY. He said 80% of all boats are financed. So if you look at, right, like we talked about before, the boat market fluctuating, the watch market, the car market, things like that, following real estate, if people start defaulting on their boat loan, it's going to be a direct correlation to the real estate market too, because hey, they can't afford their boat, so either they're going to sell their house to afford the boat, if it's a vacation house, right? 80% of all boats are financed. You look at the real estate market here in Palm Beach County, 68% of all transactions are cash. So definitely something to put into account, if you're trying to watch the real estate market, if that makes sense.
What do you think's
a trend
with the real estate market throughout 2024? It's an election year. What do you think is going to happen? What are prices going to do? What's inventory going to do? What are rates going to do?
Rates are projected to, second half of the year, go to 5%. I mean, we have a lot of inventory right now in the market, but it's not great. It's junky inventory, so that's why we have so much inventory. Elections are really going to determine what happens, I think. And it can go either way. It can really halt the market, or it could really take the market by storm and bring it back to what happened in COVID. So to answer your question, I don't know, but based on what we're seeing and the trends are, the election's going to have a major effect, and when rates go to 5%, we should see a huge tick up in the market.
Now, in Palm Beach County, West Palm Beach, even Florida in general, we're pretty insulated from like macroeconomic real estate factors. So talk
100%.
a little bit how you feel like Palm Beach and northern Palm Beach County in general, the real estate market's really not going to take a hit.
Well, like I said before, 68% of all real estate transactions here in Palm Beach County are cash. So it doesn't really matter what happens with rates because rates don't affect the cash market. Now, rates do affect, right? If rates go down, that affects the bond market. Bonds go up, people make more money. It's that saying, right? Like the rich get richer. We're here at the Palm Beach International Boat Show. Do you mind telling me a little bit about what's going on in the boating market right now, where you foresee it happen, or what's happening in the year from now, things like that?
So right now we're seeing a pretty good influx of sales versus what we've been seeing the past 6 months. We're expecting, sales to keep going up until about July 4th. Slow down, the election's coming up. It's probably once we get through the election, we expect to see everything stabilize again and, start moving in the direction of sales that, we all want to see.
Nice. What are rates right now for a boat?
It all depends, but the good rates that they're getting are about 6.5% to 7%, mostly 7%.
Okay. And do you think rates are going to go down after election, or?
I don't think rates will go down much for a while.
Okay. We're at the boat show. Do you think real estate's a better option, or do you think buying a boat's a better option?
Well, I think as beautiful as the lavish lifestyle is and the assets that these boats are, I think real estate is probably a longer-term, better investment.
Yeah.
Coming at it from an investment in real estate's going to show growth, whereas boats are generally a depreciating asset.
Right.
So, yeah, if I had to go in one direction, it would be invest in property.
Okay. Now, in the sense of, right, buying a big boat and renting that out, right, as a rental property would be like, do you think renting a big boat out like that would be more beneficial, or do you think renting out real estate would be more financially responsible, beneficial?
Well, you always have maintenance costs and those kind of things, but I think it's still more beneficial to go on the real estate side of things.
Okay.
I have seen people Airbnb boats before.
Yeah, really?
Yes.
Really? Interesting. Okay. And last question, if you had $100 million that you got yesterday, would you buy real estate first or would you buy a boat first?
I would buy real estate first.
Good answer. All right, thank you.